be straight up and down? I get the feeling. Oh, it wants me to rotate it. Bro? Okay, so it wants to be up and down tonight. Okay, that's fine. Look at me looking all delicious. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to look presentable here. So, hold on. Let me hide the comments because I'm just feeling chatty tonight. I know I need to talk about General Hospital, but I'm just feeling chatty for a completely different reason. I'm just actually getting in for the night. I had a big day today. I got my hair done. Yes, she interlocked it, washed it. Yes, I love my hairdresser. Uh-huh. And I came home. I rested. Um, then I went out, did some Uber Eats, made about $50 in an hour and a half. Then I went to hear this live band. I saw some beautiful artwork. And then I went to the grocery store and now I'm home. So last night, I went out on a date. Okay. There's this gentleman at my job and we connected just on Instagram. And he had said that he would like to take me out and go do something together. And he said, so what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do. And I was like, wait a second, I mean, that's nice, but you don't have a plan. So I asked him, well, what do you like to do? He said he likes to go to the club. And I said, I like to go bowling. That's how simple I am. I enjoy bowling. So I told him, how about the next time you come to work, you bring a quarter and we'll flip for it. So Friday comes and he pulls out a quarter from his pocket. I flip it and it's heads. Heads is the club, tails is bowling, and then we get to heads. So that means we're going to the club. And I'm not much of a clubber. I'm not much of a clubber. Like going to the club is like going to a restaurant where there's dancing. And that's pretty much what the experience was. So what I've learned in my dating experience, and I will pass this advice on to anyone who is listening. You do not give your address out to strangers, okay? You drive yourself to the location so you can get home. I learned that the hard way. There was this guy that I had him come and pick me up, and when I tell you I was ready to go home, and he was like laying on the couch like, no, I'll take you home in the morning, lay here with me. And I'm like, no, like we weren't even supposed to come back to your place. Like, oh my goodness. And I said, you know what, I'll just walk home. And then I left. And he probably just went to sleep, was like, forget her. And luckily I was able to call my friend Tawana, and she came and she picked me up from downtown where he was staying and brought me home. I was like, this never again will I ever go out on a date and not drive myself. So when I'm ready to go home, I can go home. So I drove myself. I didn't let him know where I live or anything like that. My sister also told me to get my drinks directly from the bar. Don't let somebody pass me a drink, or don't come back to a drink that I've left sitting for a moment because, it could be tampered with. So she also said, let me know your location, text me when you get home, all that, stuff to make sure that I'm safe. So I didn't head out until like maybe 11 at night, because honestly the club didn't start jumping until after midnight, maybe 1 o'clock. Like there was started people coming in and dancing, and it really got thick in there. So I meet up with him. We're walking up, and when I get there, he's like, will you be my lady? And I said, I'll be your lady for tonight. And he was like, just for tonight? And I said, yeah, for tonight. We're still getting to know each other. Like, I don't know you to be like, yeah, I'm your lady. Come on, for tonight, I'll be your lady. So we walk up to the club. They do that whole metal detector thing. They check my purse. We get inside, and he's a gentleman though. He pays for the evening and everything, which is a refreshing change. Okay, because let me tell you something, the dudes I'll be running into, I just don't be having time to entertain, because they just don't know any. What is? Let me continue on. So he pays for us to get in. It was $20 to get in. And I told him he asked me before we got there, were there any requests? And I said, yes. Is there food at this club? Because I know some places and there are some bars that are just about the alcohol. They don't serve no food. So I was like, is there food there? And he said, yeah. So, he paid for my food. He paid for me to get my margarita. I got a double shot of Patron, honey. And he also got shots of Hennessy. Now, I don't really do dark liquor. I can't stand dark liquor. It's got to be, I love me some tequila now. Vodka is just too, whoo. But I took the shot of Hennessy and I asked the lady, I said, can you please give me some water because this is so, whoo. I ate my food, and at that point, we were sitting, and it's really hard to have a conversation, get to know somebody when you in the club because there's music blasting. So like you have to constantly repeat yourself. You're in their ear asking them stuff, and so I asked him. I said, "So you already feel like you want me to be your lady?" And he's like, "Life is complicated." And I said, "Well, what's your complication?" Then he asked, "Can we change the subject?" And I said, I don't like that. That's not going to sit well with me because you're not being forthcoming. So I said, I'll tell you my complication. I am 3 weeks away from signing my divorce papers. That's my complication. But it's all good and everything. He still didn't want to like talk about what his complication was. So I did, he got up and he saw a friend that came in, and I decided to get up and go off and see what the place looked like, see the rest of it. So I ended up in the back. The TV was on, and there was a playoff game, I guess, between the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the Phoenix Suns took that. Kevin Durant wasn't playing, and I enjoyed the game. By that point, I went back to the bar when he found me. We were chilling and stuff. He was dancing, catching a vibe. I don't really dance. That's just not me. So, but he was holding me and stuff like that, and I was vibing up against him and everything. And but I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to go home. I probably wasn't there for like an hour and a half. And I was just like, yeah, I ate, I drank, I saw, I'm ready to go. So he walks me to my car, but he makes sure that he can get back inside because I guess he was going to stay. So we get to the car, and he gives me a kiss, and he was all right with his kissing. um but I told him we're not having sex, and he was like, oh, why you think I want to have sex? I said, come on, please, we're grown, okay, we're humans, okay. The end result is to have sex, okay. Let's not pretend like that's not what you. Stop it. Come on now, we grown. Like, I'm not trying to say that you're just some skeevy perv, but let's get real. Like, we want physical contact. So I get, I'm getting to open the door, and he's like, he brought up sex again. He was like, we don't have to have sex, but if you want to have sex. And I said, no, I don't want to. So I got in the car, and he did offer, just in case I was still like not okay after I had a drink. He said that he would pay for me to get an Uber so I could get home, which was very nice. But I told him, no, that's why I only had one drink tonight, because I want to make sure I can get home. I have things to do tomorrow, instead of trying to get back here to get my car in the morning. So at that point, I get in my car, and I do sit for a while because I'm not immediately ready to drive. I put the heat on in the car, and I'm just chilling on my phone in the parking lot. He texts me and he's like, hey, are you still here? And he decides to come back outside and sit in the car with me. This is where the confessions come in. So he gets in my car, and before he had said we're in the same boat when I mentioned that I was going through a divorce. So at first I took that as, oh, so you're going through a divorce too? So I asked him and I said, so since you're going through something from your relationship, are you ready to date? Because as someone from with that experience, it took me about 2 years to get to this place where I'm open to dating somebody. And he said, actually, I'm sorry, but I have somebody else right now. What? But I'm like, wait, you're dumping me? Like, I'm like thinking, like, what do you mean you have somebody else right now? And then I asked him, I said, well, wait a second. When you told me that you just moved to Westerville and that you had a roommate, you're living with a woman, that woman is your roommate? And he said, yes. And I said, so you're married, you're not getting divorced? And he's like, no, I'm not married, but we've been together for 12 years. That is a marriage. No, that is a marriage. That is a marriage. And I wasn't mad. I was just cuz look, if I had gone there and I had spent my money to hang out with this guy and then he dropped it talking about, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I got somebody in my life." Maybe then I would have been mad. But look, he paid for me to get in. I got my food, I got my drink. I'm going home. Like I'm going home. Now I know not to invest in you. But I don't appreciate you were dishonest as hell. Like I don't appreciate it, but he was like, "Oh, you're mad at me. I feel you're with me. You're mad at me." And I'm like, "No, don't put that on me. Don't project those feelings that you're having onto me cuz I don't feel mad or nothing like that cuz I was still like, I'm like I'm over here chilling. I had me a good evening. I got me a free meal and everything. I was just like, no, but I told him, I was like, look, I'm not mad at you. When I see you at work, it's all love. I'll wave, shake your hand, ask you how you doing. But other than that, we're not going to do anything because we were making plans to go bowling next time. He was like, so we're not. I said, no, we're not going to go bowling because that woman that you're living with, she don't even know that you're here with me right now, that you were kissing me just a few moments ago. And I told him straight up, as a woman who's been in a relationship, I was married and I was cheated on. I wouldn't want to do that to any woman. And not only that, forget her. I'm not doing that to me. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve this. Then he goes on to say that he doesn't feel like he can just love one person and that he wants to do like a polyamorous relationship. If it's my understanding with a polyamorous relationship, everyone is aware of what's going on in that relationship. It's not like, "Oh, I'm seeing somebody on the side and you don't know about it." So I asked him, I said, "Is your significant other who you've been with for 12 years, is she aware that you want a polyamorous relationship?" And he said, "Kind of." And I said, "There is no kind of. You guys have been together for 12 years. What are you waiting for?" I shared earlier, he had asked me, "What's your favorite song?" And I said, "Today, my favorite song is Somebody Like You by Danielle Ponder." Shout out to General Hospital for that song. I love it. And I told him the name of that album is called Some of Us Are Brave. And I told him, be brave. If what you want is a polyamorous relationship, then go home and tell the woman that you've known for 12 years that you want a polyamorous relationship. And if she says no, at least y'all know where you stand and you're not going to waste your time anymore. Because if you're out like, don't waste time. What are you wasting her time for? And then like he's not leaving because he let me know I got somebody else. So he's not leaving what he has had for 12 years. That's why he ain't saying nothing. So he's going to grow out and creep on her, but he's not going to leave her. I'm not somebody to creep with, sir. Absolutely not. And I told him it wouldn't work between us anyway because I don't want a polyamorous relationship. I want my man all to myself. I'm not sharing with nobody. What? Get out of here. So then he was sitting there telling me, "But I feel like I love you." He feels like he loves me. And I said, "What do you know about love? What do you know about love, sir?" I said, "Do you know?" He was like, "I feel like I love you." And I told him, I said, "Love isn't a feeling. It's not just a feeling. Yes, you could feel like you love somebody, but when love is a choice, it is a conscious, excuse me, it is a conscious choice that you make every day, that even when you don't feel the love, that you still choose to love that person in spite of. That's what I've come to learn. And I said this to him verbatim. And I told him, "You know what? Lately I've been reading First Corinthians 13. And in the Living Bible, it's in verse 7, it says, when you love someone, you are loyal to them no matter what the cost. You always believe in them and you expect the best of them, and that you will stand your ground defending them." That's what love says in Corinthians. Do you know about Corinthians? And I said, right now, not only do you not love that person that you've been with for so long, but you're not loving yourself for being here in this moment. So don't sit there and say, then he's like, "Oh, I choose to love you." And I said, "All right, okay." And then I told him, this has been cool, but I'm gonna need you to get out my car because I'm ready to go home. Like, get out my car because I'm ready to go home. And he was like, "I feel you mad." I said, "Stop projecting those feelings on me. Those are not my feelings. I'm not mad. I'm good. I'm going home. I'm gonna go sleep well and everything like that, and have a good night. But I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that to myself. Nah, I'm just, what I do appreciate is that the truth came out the way it did. He wasn't honest about his situation from jump, but at least I know, so I don't like keep going out with this person and investing with this person. Now I definitely know. Don't assume that a dude is single who's asking you out on a date. You need to ask some questions next time, Sabrina. Be like, are you married? Are you currently in a relationship? Do you have kids? And with those kids, does baby mama drama come with it? Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me just sit back and drink on that. Yeah, he sound crazy, don't he? Oh, he is a huge red flag. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely, he's a red flag. But I'm not entertaining that. I don't have his personal number. He did hit me up on Instagram the next today, and asked me how my night was and if I got my hair done. And he sees my Instagram stories and saying, I look beautiful as always. I haven't responded, and I'm not going to. I refuse. I refuse. It's taken me, quite some time, and I'm still working on it because even just a few days ago I was with Bear, and me and him, we almost had a child together. And I'm really working to loose myself from that soul tie, in the sense of I can't even talk about that. I can't even talk about that. But as far as this guy goes, it's taken me quite some time to build myself up after my last big relationship, which was my marriage. I'm going to be signing the divorce papers in just about 3 weeks. And it's taken, whoa, from where I started, I was crying. I was looking, like I just forgot about myself. And I have really worked hard on myself, worked on my self-worth, seeing myself for who I am, valuing me, taking care of me and my daughter and home. And I'm not about to just let anything into my life anymore. I'm worth the effort. I deserve somebody who's free to give me their all, because I'm free to give them my all. So absolutely not. I'm not going to entertain something like that. I know what that's like, because I don't know what their home situation is to have been in a relationship for 12 years. But as a woman, I know personally, if you invest, especially as women, when we invest time in men, it doesn't matter if we, what's going on at our house. If we hear about what you're doing with someone else, that hurts. That's dangerous. He put me in danger. Okay, he put me in danger because who knows, she could have pulled up on me or anything like that. He put me in danger. That's not love. That's not love. You don't know me to love me. You don't know me. And I told him, I said, look, there are sides to me. And he was like, oh, I'm scared. And I said, yeah, you should be. Because there are sides to Sabrina Faith, honey, that you don't even know about. So don't sit here and say you love me. You don't know love. Because if you knew love, you wouldn't be sitting here doing what you're doing right now. You would put that woman first. And you would put yourself first. Because lastly, and I'll get off this live, what he said to me was, oh, it's easy for him to go into this club and get sex from people. And let me tell you something. I'm so glad I didn't give up the cookie. I am so glad I didn't give up no cookie. Okay? I'm so glad I didn't give up no cookie. Thank the Lord that I have learned to gain some common sense and some self-respect about myself, that I did not give up no cookie to this man. Whew. Then I would be upset. I would really be mad. And not even at him, at me for not protecting myself. But the answer is no, and will continue to be no. Oh no, it was only one date. It was only one date. Last night, only one date. And I told him no more. Told him no more. And I'm not entertaining him. Absolutely not. But that was my cautionary tale. Again, I need to ask questions. And I need to ask questions. He was sitting there talking about, I had to be honest with you and everything. Nah. So I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my buzz ball and the rest of my little 5-layer burrito that I got from Taco Bell, and I'm gonna give me some sleep. I will be back to discuss General Hospital. I watched the week's episodes, but I'm just gonna chill tonight. I was just feeling a little chatty, and I was like, that happened. That really happened. But thank you for listening in on this live stream, and I'll be back soon. Have a wonderful Saturday night. Bye.